Welcome back to Inspo Hub. My name is Catherine Mwangi. This is Life and Style. That was pretty inspirational from Muguria with the death trap conversation. Today we celebrate young people in this town who are doing incredible things with their time and with their lives in a bid to make things easier for us. And I call them entrepreneurs because that's who they are. And to start off this conversation, I have Brian Bosire. Welcome to the program.
Thank you for having me.
And he's a software engineer, a co-founder and CEO of Nobilis Limited. So he will be letting us know what that is and how it's impacting lives in our city and the rest of the world. So Brian, first the name Nobilis. What does that mean?
Okay, so interesting thing is my business partner and I, Martin, we came up with a name while we were still freelancing. So we thought of trying to present the art of software development in a more noble way, right?
Oh, so it comes from the word noble.
Yeah. So we just added the Illis, just trial and error.
Oh, so like to make it funky, so it actually sits well.
Yeah, thank you.
It does sit well. How old is your company?
We are now 5 years old, so we were incorporated in 2015.
Okay.
But before that, we were working as freelancers for a year.
Okay.
So it's kind of 6 years.
So what does someone need to study in school to be a software engineer?
I'd say you can start before school, so I'm thinking post-high school.
Yes.
Start looking into software development, take a number of online courses, just get your hands dirty before you start now going deeper into the specific course is computer studies, computer science.
Computer science,
yes,
okay,
yes,
so
yes.
That's what you studied?
Yeah.
Okay, did you always know or want to be a...
Interesting thing is I didn't go that route in the beginning.
Oh.
So before I'd been doing a bachelor in telecommunications, but then over the course of that time with our freelance work, I realized that I prefer software a bit more. So I more or less have been teaching myself these past 5 years, yes. 5 years.
Wow, so how did you and Martin meet?
We met in high school, so we went through high school together.
You're in the same high school?
Yes.
That's phenomenal, so you are friends.
Yeah.
So it's a case of two friends who decided what can we do together. So did he also study computer science?
Interesting thing, he went to United Kingdom to study chemical engineering. So yes, it's a bit random, but I'd say the computer science is still in us.
Okay, chemical engineering. Whoa, okay, so he's based in the UK?
Yes.
You're based here?
Yeah.
So this is the company headquarters?
Yes.
Oh, okay, cool. So you started 5 years ago, before you were freelancing. So freelancing as a what?
Before it was, I'd say, a basic web developer, right? So that was just developing websites.
So if you wanted a website,
yes,
you're the guy?
Yeah.
So actually right now I want a website.
Oh, I mean, we can talk after.
So it's me plugging my issues in. Okay, sorry.
Yeah.
So web development, and then now you grew into this company.
Into, more software. So that's more complex, more dealing with information on the back-end servers, etc. So before with just websites, just information, presenting it. Now, as we grew, we now started dealing with more information coming from the user to the server and back. So a bit more back and forth.
So your company is a software development company. So take us through some of the softwares that you have developed and what solutions have they given to your clients?
Okay, so I believe I can go through 3 of them.
Yes, sure.
Yeah, okay. So the first one is more or less the first project we have done, which is an event management system. So that's the EMS, very simple name. So it was more or less a system for corporates. So big corporate events, you wanted to handle everything from registration to check-in to payment to the schedule for the event, speakers, their bios, everything on the system. So it was the one-stop shop for corporate events.
So the best people to use this are event organizers?
Exactly.
Ah, okay.
Yeah. So separate from the usual online for, let's say, music events for just ticketing. So EMS was more features, more value to the event organizer.
Okay, so how has that been received in the market?
So far it's been doing all right. Of course, there's more that we can do and we are trying to work on that this year. But I'd say it's been pretty well.
What's the second software solution?
So the next one was one we developed for a particular client. So that was Tinga Online. So this was an heavy equipment outsourcing platform, right? So if you had, let's say, bulldozers, excavators, etc., and they're just sitting in a yard somewhere, it would upload the details on the system and now present it to the wider market. So someone could now come in, search in their specific area, and want an excavator between this and this date, how much does it charge? So now it will be linking the person searching for the equipment and the one who has it.
Just why specific to heavy equipment?
That was now based on the client because they had the experience with it. They'd seen, like they said, they've seen the large yards with excavators just sitting, doing nothing.
Yeah.
So they decided to now put it online, give people the opportunity to put it to good use.
Okay, interesting. I didn't know. Oh,
Yeah.
lot we don't know. Okay, another one?
And then the last one, which I can't go into too much detail since it's still under NDA.
Development,
Yeah,
okay.
yeah. So that is now data analytics software particularly for refineries, oil refineries. So that's taking all the sensor data from the machines, let's say minute data for an entire week, putting it in the system, charting it, adding some now custom applications that are specific to that plant, that particular company.
So, what are some of the challenges you find businesses go through that you would have solutions for?
I'd say the core of it is now more or less information, right? Ways of automating it. So let's say with the digitization movement over the past couple of years, so moving from paper and forms and etc. to now online systems.
So digitizing everything, automating everything.
Exactly.
Do you use AI in your work?
AI not yet, because that one is quite complex.
Quite something. The next time you
something.
sit here, you have 10 degrees, PhDs in engineering.
Yes.
Okay, so what was your journey to this point like? What have those 5 years been like?
I would say ups and downs, more or
Let's
less.
start with the downs.
The downs, okay. So that one, I'd say it's down to more learning on the job, because I didn't study to be a CEO. It just happened naturally over time. So that's, of course, I made a couple of mistakes, learned from them, trying to be better. And more or less, or more importantly, something I've learned over the time is that as a CEO, I've more or less taken care of my people, right? It's less about being a developer, chasing that job.
There's a huge human role to that.
Exactly,
Yeah.
So when I go meeting with clients, I know that from this, I might be able to pay 1, 2, 3 of our developers for the next couple of months.
Wow. So you almost are like a father.
Yes, I really. It's an interesting way of putting it, but yes.
I know. Of course, you're pretty young, but you know, you worry about where is the pay for this month coming from, right? You stress about it.
Yeah.
How large is your team?
We have been on the average 5 people,
5
right?
people,
so
yeah.
it was 4 a couple of years ago,
Right.
went up to 6, now we are at 5.
Yeah, at least for the Kenyan office.
Yeah.
So the down. So when you don't have money to pay your staff, then what happens?
I'd say that one we've been fortunate enough, say between 2017 to 2018, because that's when we had really good business and we decided to put money aside in case of the hard times. Right?
So to reserve, to save. Which
Right.
is what a lot of young people are not doing. People are not saving.
Unfortunately, yeah.
Yeah. How did you get into that saving culture?
I'd say down to my parents, very strict parents.
Yeah?
Yeah. I mean, if they give you a set amount of allowance per month, you know there's nothing else coming. It's up to you to decide. You'll have
You
more next
decide
month.
how you'll spend this.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah.
So how would you, what allowance would you get? Give or take.
Yeah, give or take. I'd say 8. If I was nice, 10K.
Hey, your parents are not strict. 10,000.
Maybe I'm reminding. No, that was university, sorry.
Oh, that was
university, yes. Before that, I can't remember the specific values.
That was university.
Yeah.
So with that 10,000, you have to figure out it's what you're using for food,
Yeah, food.
for airtime, for
Some
transport.
transport, yeah. Well, in university, if you're living on site, you don't have to go anywhere most of the
Yeah,
time.
but you don't have the time. Maybe you want to go somewhere to see a friend or to visit.
True, yeah.
So you'd
But yeah,
find a way
strict.
to even save from that 10,000.
Even if it's just 100 bob or if you're lucky, 1,000 from that.
That's amazing. So you brought that now into your business. You knew the
Yes.
value of saving.
Oh, so much. Like having that cash in the bank, you know that anything happens if, let's say, a client decides we're not working anymore. At least I know I can pay them for the next 2-3 months, and from then we have now to scrounge to like look for new clients.
Wow. How expensive is it, or how lucrative is it? I don't know which word should apply.
Software development?
Yeah, software development.
I'd say it's pretty
Lucrative?
manageable, yeah.
Yeah?
Manageable, yeah. Though I'd say it all depends on how best to present yourself to the client. Because there are some who might decide they want this big thing for this small amount.
Yeah.
It's now coming to the middle ground with them.
Right.
So they understand that for that what you want, it'll take this much time, this much work,
Right.
and overall this much cash. Right? Instead of short selling yourself, chasing money that might not be good for your people,
Yeah.
good for you.
Yeah. Okay. And what role have your parents played in molding or shaping the business person that you are today?
Let me see. So for that, I'll say it's more, again, down to the strictness or adhering to your own rules personally and also theirs. And at the same time, just advice on what to do, right? Because my dad had also run a business a couple of years ago,
Okay.
right? It was doing pretty well until he got some stiff competition from Safaricom because he was in the international calls business. Yeah. So once Safaricom came in with their, I think it was a specific tariff, where you can just call from your own mobile phone.
Right.
Yeah, they had to shift their job, their business and all that.
So the business model had to change?
Yes.
Okay. So you've learned now from those things. So you go to them for advice every so often?
Yep. And also, I'd also like to mention also Martin's dad is also more or less a businessman.
Okay.
Yeah, so both of us, we've been coming
Very
back and
lucky
forth.
to have.
Yeah. Some very supportive, experienced parents.
That's amazing. Most people actually don't have that blessing. So yours has been really good, yeah. Okay. So in terms of your staff, how do you manage people? How do you manage different personalities, different genders? Of course, the females can be a bit complex.
I mean, I'd say hiring our recent marketing lead, Valentine, has by far been the best thing that
She's
we've
the
done
one who
so far.
introduced you
Yes,
to.
exactly.
And you can see her. She's celebrating this, the fact that
Yes,
we've
she is behind the camera.
behind the cameras.
Yeah.
Okay.
But before that, it was mostly guys because we're focusing on the technical side and finding a lady to fill that role has been difficult, just in terms of the number and competition from the guys now, right? Then.
So
now,
what has the inclusion of a lady done for the business or for the team? Oh, okay, that expression means what?
Just trying to think because it's now down to more or less the culture, the experience of work. Because as guys, you're in it for the work. You come to work, Masalimiana, you get down to business.
Mnyamaziana, and nowadays young people just put on their headphones.
Exactly.
That's it. Yeah.
Exactly. But now with Valentine, she's now been pushing us to be more social. Like, let's go for this event here. Of course, it's separate from work. It has nothing to do with business. Just keeping everyone together.
Yeah.
That has been wonderful.
It's been wonderful. So when she told you have this interview, what did you think?
How did you get it? What did you do? What do you know?
What did you do?
Exactly. Like,
Are we in trouble?
yeah. It's all
That's
well
funny.
good.
No, she was quite aggressive, and I figured, okay, no, two young men doing amazing things. I said, yeah, these are the people I'm looking for, and I haven't had any conversation with the software developers. So for me, also it was going to be interesting in the sense of learning what that means and what solutions your company provides.
Yeah.
So at least your parents have had an impact, both yours and Martin's.
Yes.
So when Martin is in the UK, how does he support the business? What is his role when he's there?
Okay. So first of all, Martin handles one of our first projects. So it was from a gentleman in the UK. So that's let's say it was the data analytics project I mentioned, the third one. So he's the one managing it, dealing with the client, etc. And aside from that, it's more of an advisory role, right? So every month or so, we get together, review the business, how we're doing, how the project's coming along, etc., etc. And then from that, we now more or less prepare a game plan for the next month, and I'm the one to execute it here in Kenya.
Oh, I see. So you travel or you do the whole Skype thing?
Skype.
Nowadays technologies.
Yeah, it's
You
very
don't have
simple.
to go, but if I was you, I'll be like, yeah, I'm coming to the UK.
Yeah, one of
When
these
it's
days,
not
I'll
winter.
surprise you one of these days.
You'll surprise him. So he's a co-founder with you
Yes.
of Nobilis. Okay, so we spoke about the downs, which you have shown us how you've managed this whole staff, paying staff, managing staff, and now you got someone who is kind of breaking that ice.
Yeah.
So any other down moments you've had? Do clients pay you on time?
I'll say we are fortunate in that, yeah, because we
Yeah,
don't
yeah.
have to chase them too much. Like just casual reminder, by the way, payment was due last week. How is it coming along? And sure enough, a couple of days later, it's done.
So how do you advertise your business?
So far it's been through events and social media. So social media will be just presenting ourselves, what we do, how we do it, testimonials, etc. Then for events, it's now trying to get the opportunity to speak, to exhibit at, say, trade shows, etc.
That's awesome. And that has worked for you?
It's been going pretty well.
Yeah? Wow, that's pretty cool. Social media, yeah, that's like the big thing now.
Yeah.
For, I mean, any company that's not utilizing digital marketing is shooting themselves in the foot. So what mistakes do you see young people make in this entrepreneur journey?
Let's see. So I can think of two ones that I've experienced and seen before. The first one is not being sure about the value you're offering. Let's say you want to develop a new app. Who is it for? Why are you developing it? It may take 2 or 3 months. Are you ready to put all that time, that effort, those resources into developing this thing? Right? And are you sure that it will provide value to people and they're willing to pay for it, right? To build a business around that. And then the other problem is now, as I said, saving, preparing for the hard times. Because once you get, let's say, the first investor, you have money in the bank. Everyone is happy. You never think about what happens 2 months down the line, 3 months, etc. Right? It's all down to planning for the long game.
Wow, interesting. So where do you see this business, Nobilis, going for this year, which is the year is still very young?
Yeah. So far we've been doing consultancy work, right? So that one is still going strong. We're still pursuing it. We're also looking into going more focused on our products, like the EMS and others to come, right? So it's now providing more value now from clients, hopefully to customers.
So how do you, how does it work? So you have like clients who require you every week, every month, or once you're done with me, we are done?
Okay, so our projects usually run after the initial meetings, trying to figure out what they want, the type of project they have running. We now more or less get down to work with the developers, right? So we have the list of features they want, the capability of the system they want, and then our developers now get to work. And every so often we have another meeting with them, what we call the cycle meetings, right? So we look at how much you've accomplished in the past 1 or 2 weeks, plan the next 2 weeks, and we continue that until you are done with the projects, which usually runs between 2 to 3 months for bigger projects, right? Then after that, let's say a month of maintenance, and now it's theirs. The system is theirs.
So they own it?
Yes, it's theirs.
Okay, so there's never a scenario where you co-own whatever you develop is for that person. You don't need it.
Yeah, co-owning is more complicated, let's say, on the business side, right? Because if it's a product where you want to now start selling something, you have to agree on the profit sharing, revenue, etc.
Yeah. So for you, it's easier to just buy. Here's a product, buy it, and own it. It's yours, and then you're on to the next.
Yeah. Or if they want to improve it, come back again.
You see. Also, you offer those value adds, I think.
Yeah.
Okay, that's pretty amazing.
Yeah.
So, you said this year you're looking to add more value. Are you looking to expand?
Of course, if the let's say the financials are good, we are very willing to add more people to our team, because that means more work for them, more impact of our business, right? So the scaling comes naturally, I'd say.
So is the demand for your services very high?
I'd say yes, it's high.
Yeah?
It's high, because you often get clients who are just curious, what do you do? Before, now that's the marketing side, you know, have to, once they reach out, now has to understand what do they want, is it something you can offer, and then follow up on so on that, right? Because some of them might be just curiosities, like what do you guys do?
Yeah.
Can we work together at some point? Then it goes quiet.
Yeah.
But otherwise, for those who are serious about what they want, we can work with them.
Yeah. How do you maintain your focus? Because what you find happening with majority of our young people now is everyone gets caught up in what's happening, especially in the political arena. You know, if something happens politically, everyone is there, and it's just totally become a distraction for this generation, and such that you know, and you know, once you're distracted, something loses somewhere.
Yeah, the focus is gone, the motivation is gone.
Exactly. So for you, having been able to, the last 5 years, just maintain this flint focus.
And work at it. Okay. So for that, I'd say I wouldn't do it alone, because running a business isn't only me who's doing it. So for that, we'll have regular meetings with my co-founder Martin separately, and then with our team, so that you understand what the overall goal of Nobilis is. So every quarter, so that's 3 months, sit together, decide this is what we've accomplished past 3 months, this is what we want to accomplish the next month, after that, and so on. So it's now just maintaining that vision in our company.
So you always have to go back to what is the vision, why are we here?
Exactly.
So that's how you bring everything back together.
Because without that, why do you come to work?
It's true.
It's just for the paycheck, then you go home.
Yeah.
It becomes very monotonous, very, how do I say, depressing sort
Yeah.
of.
Yeah. Have you fired anyone? You seem to be a really cool guy. Like you're fired. And then when they beg you and they cry, you're like, okay, fine, you're back.
I mean, yes, I have fired, and it's not been pretty.
It didn't feel good.
No.
Yeah.
No. Like I mentioned, you mentioned I'm kind of the dad, so I'm letting go of one of my children.
Father letting go of children.
Yeah, it's also nice. But yeah, I have fired for various reasons. Maybe we weren't thorough enough in our hiring process, or someone just decided they want to move on early. So yeah, it has happened before.
It has. But now you feel like you have a solid team, more or less.
Very, very solid.
Very solid. Oh, that's nice. That's a good thing. He believes in you guys.
True.
He so does.
Yeah.
So as we wind up, what advice would you have for young people, either starting out in business or even those who started but they're on the verge of giving up because everybody's saying the economy is not working for them?
Yeah, I'd say for those who are starting out, like I mentioned, figure out what value you want to offer in your product, in your application, etc., in your service, and make sure that you more or less list this down. Prepare marketing material so that as you go selling yourself out there, you know this is what I offer, this is now my price, let's work together, right? And for those who feel like they are about to give up, maybe things aren't working out, take some time off. That's the best advice I can give, right? When you are really in the dumps, just take a weekend off, a couple of days, spend time with friends, family, and then after that you can now come and revisit like what happened, what went wrong, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so that you can now prepare a game plan for the next month or so on how to fix these things and get back on your feet.
I love that a lot because people give up, and I'm always telling people, just take leave, go away for a week, just go recalibrate, and then you'll be okay. I love that a lot. You're my guy. Well, Brian, thank you so much for coming to the show today.
Likewise.
I wish you God's best for you with Nobilis, and you take it to the next level and keep inspiring these children that you're nurturing. Okay, and keep Valentine very close.
Oh, I will.
Yeah.
I will.
So how does your business affect your dating life?
Oh.
You know how to go there. Maybe.
I haven't been following up too much on that, so...
You haven't?
We'll wait to
I'm
see.
hoping by the time we may be having this conversation again, we'll be talking different things. You'll be like, yeah, now I have a balance. Valentine cleared my schedule. Now I'm able to date, right?
Hopefully, yes.
Okay, all the best to you.
Right,
If they
thank
want
you
to
very
get in
much.
touch with your business, what are your contacts?
Okay, so we have a website, so that's www.nobilisltd.co.ke. We also have a couple of emails that you can reach out to us. So that's info@nobilisltd.co.ke, as well as sales, if you want to work with us, nobilisltd.co.ke.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
All right, thank you for having me.
You're most welcome. Don't go too far. The next entrepreneur is one whose story you also want to watch after the break.